Jesse Saint World.
Hey, welcome back. This is your boy Jesse Saint, and today we got a special video for you. I'm going to be doing an unboxing video and a gear analysis and playthrough video. We're going to check out an Enya guitar, which is super cool. I've been wanting to check one of these out for a long time. So let's go ahead and unbox it and get to it, guys. Alright guys, here we go. I don't typically do unboxing videos, but I just got a guitar in from the company Enya, and this is a Nova Sonic Go. Let's check it out. Right. Oh. Weird, it's kind of got like a little way to unbox it without having to cut it all open. Let's give that one a shot. Okay, did have to cut one little piece of plastic, but other than that, this is pretty cool. There we go. All right. Hopefully they sent me the right one. Looks like we do have a nice little gig bag here. All right, let's check it out. And here's the unveiling. Really nice gig bag, I have to say. Oh, of course, there's one more layer. Should have expected that much. I do have to say right off, it is super light, which is nice. It's definitely not going to kill my back. Tuners look decent. Nice ergonomic design. Now let's get this cardboard off here and let's jam on it. All right, so let's check this thing out. So number one, which I always look at when I'm looking at a new guitar, is looks. Let's be honest here, you know. Everybody likes a certain look of a guitar. I have my own style, and luckily they had an all-white guitar, which is something I've been touring with a ton of different bands for years. So just right off the start, checking it out here. Still got this little instruction on here. We'll check that out in a minute. But as you see, I don't know if you can see here. Yep, right there. That is the holes for the speaker. And as I'm looking on the back here, obviously, somewhere up inside of there is the full amplifier. Now this is a 10-watt amplifier with Alnico number 2 and number 5 in the bridge position, I believe. I do like Alnicos. I've used them in a ton of older kind of classic guitars and stuff over the years. So I mean, looks wise from the front of it, it looks great. I love the fretboard. Let's see here. Tuners look good. Check that out there. We'll check the tuning. That's another. That's always the big thing with guitars is does it stay in tune? Looks wise, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. That's why I picked it out. It looks exactly like what I expected. The feel of it, it's you know, not. I wouldn't say that it's light per se, but it is definitely lighter than like a Les Paul shape. So. You know, it is your typical Les Paul shape, but it's like I said, it's fairly light. It's not like crazy. But this is not a wooden guitar. So it does have a little bit of a lighter feel. The neck feels fast. Yeah, let's go ahead and check it out. So we got some instructions here. Oh. All right. So press and hold to turn on and off. Pretty simple. Tap to switch between save tone effects and turn to control effect volume. Okay, so it sounds like if you're on an affected channel, you can turn it up and down. Pretty simple. We got your 3-way selector here. And let's see here. For the tone knob, turn to control pickup volume. Press lift to toggle neck pickup, series parallel mode. And then at the bottom, okay, so this is... Don't don't want to pull this thing off. Oh, okay. For some reason I already had it pulled up. There we go. Okay. So it is a push-pull. Okay, let's check that out. So looks-wise, like I said, looks freaking great. One more thing here at the bottom. Connect your NovaGo Sonic to the Enya Music app to discover more features. Please download it from the App Store or Google Play. Now this part I already knew was coming, so where did I put it? 1 second. There we go. So here's what it looks like, the app, and I already kind of went through it. It's got a tuner there. I am kind of tuned a little bit funky today, but it's got some drum beats as well. So I can get back to that. Because I'm new to this. But it's got songs, courses, tools, all kinds of stuff there. So I am going to check out this whole entire system and this whole entire app, which is your amp. We'll do that here in a bit. First, let's check it out. All right, so it said hold. All right, we got a green. Okay, fairly loud. You can feel a little bit of air pushing out of that speaker as we play. So let's go ahead and start out with just some simple stuff like you always would with a clean tone. Has a little bit of reverb, but it's pretty dry signal. Let's just do a little stretching. Like I said, the neck feels really fast. It's pretty close to being in a tune. A little bit out. And this is out of the box. Alright. Now typically when you're playing that kind of open type stuff and doing your warm-ups, it's going to knock it out of tune a little bit, so it's perfectly normal. Not bad though. And the sound, sounds pretty decent. I like it so far. Let's go ahead and drop tune it. Plays nice. Alright, so that's the clean tone. Like I said, it sounds pretty good. It's a little glassy, sounds nice. Let's go ahead and try, before we move on to the different sounds this has. I believe it has 4 preloaded sounds. Let's just check out the different toggles, because I like to play a little differently depending on what I've got going on sound and style-wise. It's got a little minor chord there. Like I said, a little glassy, a little bright. That's the top position there, the bridge. Here's a mix of the two. That's nice. That's nice. Let's try the push-pull. Okay. Oh, that turns everything off. Okay. And then all the way back. Nice. Not bad. Okay. Going back up to the top of the pickup selection. All right, now I believe you just hit this once is what the, let's see here, this little thing says switch between. Okay. Okay, we got kind of a bluish color there. All right, just opens up a little bit of gain. Not much though. Okay, not sure if the tone knob is... Okay, that's secondary volume. Okay. Pretty dry tone. Nice though, kind of reminds me of older like a British amp or maybe like an old Fender Tweed. Still got a pretty tone to it. All right, let's move on to the next one. Kind of a cyan color. Okay, so there's the rhythm tone. All right. Sounds pretty good. Once again, kind of British sounding. There we go. That's nice. It's a kind of a bluesy tone, not the greatest for shredding, but and I like to play everything in kind of like super downtuned kind of. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. I would definitely, I'm going to go into this later into the cell phone app and see if I can make me some metal settings. I did notice that they have some metal drums and stuff to jam around with, so I'm excited about that. Like I said, this is pretty dry, not great for soloing, but... sounds pretty cool. And I think we got one more. Purple. Okay. Whoa. Way better sounding tone for that riff. I mean, it's got some slapback. So this is the shredding type tone. Even though, I mean, I like every single one of these tones so far. The thing for me is I would have probably used this as the distorted channel and taken the slapback off of it, and then used the prior tone. What was it? The cyan. Yeah. With effects for more of the boosted tone. But other than that, I mean, you can mess with all this stuff. You can reconfigure everything, make your own tones. So out of the box, I would say, man, 10 out of 10. I've owned pretty much every kind of modeling amplifier since they first came out. You know, all the Line 6 stuff, and this rivals all that. It sounds cleaner. It sounds quite a bit better than. I mean, I've got a Spider 4 right there. I would like to check this thing out with just a regular amp. And I noticed when I was looking over this guitar, and it doesn't feed back. That's great. Check this out. So here, it's got the same exact power up, the C charger, as my cell phone. It looks like we also got another way to just plug in a regular type amp, and I believe it's a headphone. I've got some headphones right here. So let's check it out. Maybe I've turned it down. So let's see if that works. It works, guys. So the headphones work nicely. It's probably something I'm not going to use a ton, but I am very interested to get this guitar into my recording DAW and just see how it sounds on some recordings, you know what I mean? And for shredding, I typically like a teensy bit more distortion myself, and I like to dial in the slap back and just a tad bit of chorus. So I will make a couple of these tones in the app. But this sound right here, the purple, is probably my favorite. Sounds good. Like I said, this is down tuned to G, so I mean, most guitars are not going to hold G. I am extremely surprised and just super happy with the fact that, I mean, listen to that. Tad bit out of tune, but not really though. That's in dropped G, and it kept that. Well, it sounds great, and I have to say, I've been wanting one of these guitars for a long time, and by a long time, I mean, when I was 10 years old, just to do a little backstory, both of my parents played guitar, and when they saw I was about 10, 11-ish, they bought me a guitar, and it was a pawn shop special kind of deal. It did have a speaker in it. You could not plug a regular instrument cable into it. It did not stay in tune, and it barely worked, and I believe it took either the big giant C batteries or D batteries. And like I said, didn't really work, didn't really help for me practicing or doing any of the things that it was supposed to. But I remember when I was a kid thinking, man, one of these days when I get older, someone is going to be able to do this correctly, and it's actually going to work to where you can actually practice without lugging around an amplifier or your big stacks, or even if you're a band now that just uses a tiny modeler pedal, you can practice and rehearse all of your band's songs. And this 10-watt speaker is actually, I don't know if you can hear it on here, but it is actually loud enough for you to be able to sing and rehearse over the top of it. Now, I toured in radio metal bands for about 20 years, and the big thing for that, I know nowadays people are like, oh, the radio isn't as popular as it used to be, and it's not, but radio was a huge part of becoming a big band back in the day. And what that would come with, what most people don't know, is at about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, you'd have to wake up, grab a cold acoustic guitar out of, trailer, and then have to tune that thing up, hope it stays in tune, rehearse, go into a radio station at 8 or 9 a.m., do some talking, and then perform an acoustic song on the air. Now, the problem with that, like I said, it was typically in the wintertime, it would knock acoustics out of tune. And then they wouldn't stay in tune, and of course you didn't want to bring like a Taylor or a Gibson with you because probably end up messing it up, dropping it, breaking it. So we would always bring out cheap acoustics and just hope they stayed in tune. That way we could actually jam and do acoustic songs on the radio. And I have to say, if I would have had one of these, we could have just easily, this thing stayed in tune great. Just brought these, kept it on the clean channel, maybe add a little, little reverb delay. And just use this, man. That would have really saved me over the years. And I have to say, when I started touring professionally in the early 2000s, there was a company that did a guitar kind of like this that had a speaker, but once again, like when I was 10, they updated a couple things. You could plug in a regular instrument cable into it, but it took the D batteries, the huge cell batteries that cost a ton, and it worked for about 10 minutes. So I remember one of my first big tours going out with Disturbed, we were allowed to practice during sound check 5 songs. So that was the only time I ever got to play with the band or practice with the band before I went on stage. And man, it was terrible. We only got to do 5 songs, but then our singer was like, hey man, we've got these guitars with the speakers in them, and we can rehearse in the tour bus. So I was like, okay, well, we'll try that. And after about 10 minutes of tuning up the guitars, it didn't work. And we basically just never used those. They were travel guitars. So this concept has been around for about 30 years. People have been trying to do it, but no one has ever done it. Like, this is, I'm just going to say it, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. And as a reaction person, I always give my 1 through 10 on what I think about a product and or a song. And I have to say, this is 10 out of 10, man. And it's not because they gave me a guitar. I've been endorsed by about 10 different guitar companies, and anytime I had a problem with a guitar, I would speak up. Hey, one of my pickups doesn't work, or hey, something isn't working right, and I would send it back. I'm not going to say that I love a guitar if I don't. So when I say I love this guitar already, that's a big thing, especially because, like I said, ever since I was a kid, I've been waiting on a company to be able to do something like this. Sounds great. Yeah, I absolutely love it. So, I'm going to give this guitar a 10 out of 10. I have not tried the one that has the whammy bar on it, but I would like to try one of those and perhaps the acoustic. There is a clickable link down in the description, and I'm going to go ahead and let me get out of the way, show it on screen. So, if you buy the guitar from this link, or one of the Enya guitars, it does help me out a little bit and gets you a little bit of a deal. So, all around, man. And like I said, it's still staying in tune. This is very impressive. But once again, 10 out of 10. Absolutely love this guitar. I am going to put some different strings on it, maybe tune it down, because I do a lot of rock and metal reactions. But in general, 10 out of 10. Love it. You should buy one too. All right, guys. Have a great one.